Tonight, the investigation into the deadly shooting at a Florida college. What we're learning about the shooter's background. New videos of the shooter opening fire at Florida State University as we learn new details about his family and the police stepmother whose gun he allegedly used to kill 2 people and injure 6. Tonight, the community paying tribute to the victims. Tornadoes touching down across the plains and hail tearing the sides off of homes. More dangerous storms tonight, 25 million at risk, where it's headed this Easter holiday weekend. Idaho murder rulings. The judge's key decisions today about discussing the accused killer's autism diagnosis in court and whether his Amazon purchase history is admissible. Escaped killer captured. The convicted murderer seen here breaking out of a California prison, caught in Mexico after a shootout there where he allegedly killed again. Families facing off. The father of that Texas teen stabbed at a track meet, crashing the press conference held by the family of the alleged killer the moment police took him away. Body camera just released of police opening fire on an autistic man in Idaho. What it reveals about the officer's actions. And miracle rescue. The young boy missing overnight finally rescued by a dog 7 miles from his home. That toddler now talking about his night in the wilderness. Plus, a bride pulled over for speeding because she was late to her own wedding. Did the officer ticket her? We have the video. Top Story starts right now. Good evening. I'm Ellison Barber in for Tom Llamas. Tonight, new details in the shooting rampage at Florida State University that left at least 2 people dead. In a moment, you will hear from a survivor recounting the terrifying moment she was shot, saying that playing dead is what helped keep her alive. But first, new video just in of students taking shelter under their desks in a classroom as the gunman opened fire on campus just before noon yesterday. This all happening near the student union. Chilling images inside that building, virtually frozen in time. Backpacks, notebooks, and laptops all left behind as students raced for cover. Sidewalks on campus normally bustling with thousands of students now lined with candles and flowers. The community holding a prayer service tonight to remember the lives lost. We now know the identities of the victims. The brother of Robert Morales confirming he was shot and killed. Morales was a university dining coordinator who worked at the school for a decade. And Tiru Chaba, a 45-year-old father of 2 who worked for a food service vendor. And now we are learning more about the suspect's past. NBC's Priya Sridhar has the latest on the investigation.
Tonight, one day after an active shooting rampage rocked the campus of Florida State University, new details about the suspect's movements. The carnage began between 11:56 and 11:57 a.m. when police say Phoenix Eichner fired the first shot. Authorities say he walked in and out of buildings and green spaces, firing a handgun. At noon, police say the suspect was shot by responding officers and taken into custody.
The suspect continues to receive treatment at one of our local hospitals. He will face the charges up to and including first-degree murder.
2 people died, including Tiru Chaba, a husband and father, and Robert Morales. His brother writing, quote, he loved his job at FSU and his beautiful wife and daughter. 6 other people were injured. Grad student Madison Askins was hit by a bullet that still lodged in her back.
I heard the shooter come up next to me, and I heard him reload. So I knew I needed to stay dead. So I stayed slumped over. I remember him saying, yeah, keep running.
Do you believe that basically playing dead is what saved your life?
100%. When he stood over me, when he changed his clip, I know that if I had gotten up in that moment, he would have shot me a second time.
FSU officials say Eichner was a student there and had recently transferred from nearby Tallahassee State College.
At this point, there does not appear to be any connection at all between the shooter and any of the victims.
2 classmates who spent time with the alleged gunman say he had expressed white supremacist views in the past. NBC News has not been able to independently verify his views.
He definitely had that opinion of just not respecting anybody who wasn't a straight white man.
Big hatred towards women and minorities, and there's a lot of rhetoric around how everyone that's not white needs to get out.
Revealing court documents shed light on a potentially tumultuous childhood. The FBI says the suspect was once known as Christian Gunnar Erickson, but changed his name to Phoenix Eichner in 2020. A court approving the name change found him to, quote, be a mentally, emotionally, and physically mature young adult. But separate court documents from 2015 related to a custody dispute between Eichner's biological parents say, according to his father, he had, quote, developmental delays and special needs and was being treated for several health and mental issues. A handgun police say was owned by the suspect's stepmom. A sheriff's deputy was found on the scene. At FSU today, students returned to the student union for the first time. Sophomore Vaughn Circus was working inside when he saw students running.
So it's a tough experience being right back here right now. Just because of the fact that literally 20 feet away from us, there was somebody shot on the ground. I think about, when does it stop?
And Priya Sridhar joins us now from Tallahassee, Florida. Priya, do we know what charges the suspect will face once he's released from the hospital?
Yeah, well, Ellison, Tallahassee police say the suspect will be prosecuted to the fullest extent and face first-degree murder charges, but it's likely that he'll be facing several charges. Remember, there were multiple victims in this tragedy, including 5 people who were injured from gunshot wounds and the additional 2 who were tragically killed. Tallahassee police did say that the suspect did sustain significant injuries and remains in the hospital for now before he will eventually be transferred to a detention facility. We don't have word just yet on a specific timeline on when those charges could be filed. Ellison?
Priya Sridhar, important reporting. Thank you. Next, dangerous holiday weather set to slam millions this Easter weekend. The Midwest already hit hard by severe weather. A tornado touching down in Fort Calhoun, Nebraska. You see it there. And in Wisconsin, hail the size of golf balls raining down, smashing through vehicles and causing major damage. For more on the storm threat, NBC Washington meteorologist Amelia Draper is following all of it for us. Amelia, what's the latest on the track here?
Well, Ellison, I'm keeping a really close eye on radar tonight, especially into parts of Texas, Oklahoma, up through Missouri, where 10 million people are under a flood watch. This flood watch running through the holiday weekend. So what we can expect tonight, not only tracking some heavy rain developing into the late evening and overnight hours in those locations, but wintry weather across the Rockies. Then we head on into tomorrow, where we continue to track the increased threat for flooding. Meanwhile, tonight, the biggest concern is going to be damaging hail. Diameter 2 inches or larger. That would be the size of a lime. In addition to that, we could have wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour and some isolated tornadoes as well. The largest hail likely into parts of Texas and Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City and Wichita Falls. Then looking at tomorrow, severe storms continue across the plains with that increased risk for flooding from Dallas up to St. Louis. As we head on into Easter Sunday, we'll track an area of low pressure that moves into the central plains with storms capable of producing tornadoes. Once again, large hail and strong winds, gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Looking at the rainfall forecast through the holiday weekend, through Sunday, you can see the bright colors here. They really tell the story. From areas of Dallas up into Oklahoma City, Joplin, Missouri, up into St. Louis, Illinois, 2 to 4 inches of rain is likely, locally producing 6 inches of rainfall. This could lead to not only flooding, but flash flooding. And then we're also tracking snow in the Rockies, where they could pick up some locations 6 to 12 inches, Ellison.
A lot to watch this holiday weekend. Amelia Draper, thank you. We're learning much more tonight about the man who has become a flashpoint at the center of President Trump's immigration crackdown, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a U.S. Senator, Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, meeting Abrego Garcia in El Salvador. And today he revealed the details of their conversation, including where Abrego Garcia is now being held. It comes as President Trump makes new accusations about his time in the United States. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House with more.
Tonight, this picture is igniting a political firestorm. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen is now back in the U.S. after that surprise half-hour meeting at a hotel with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the migrant the Trump administration initially said was mistakenly deported last month to a notorious prison in El Salvador.
This case is not just about one man. It's about protecting the constitutional rights of everybody who resides in the United States of America.
But El Salvador's president is mocking the meeting, writing sarcastically that Abrego Garcia has miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with a Democratic lawmaker. Van Hollen says those drinks were planted by Salvadorian government officials and that Abrego Garcia was moved out of the prison to another facility days ago.
He's experienced trauma. He said he's sad every day.
Despite a Supreme Court order to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the U.S., it's an immigration fight the White House is relishing, stressing today that Abrego Garcia is not coming back. President Trump calling Van Hollen a grandstander.
He's a fake. That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad.
Even though he has no criminal convictions, the White House, citing local police reports, says Abrego Garcia was a member of the violent MS-13 gang, which his family denies. Today, the Department of Homeland Security released new details about a traffic stop involving Abrego Garcia in 2022. The report says he was pulled over for speeding while driving 8 people from Texas to Maryland for construction work. According to the report, the responding officer suspected it was human trafficking because there was no luggage in the vehicle. Police let him go with a warning for driving with an expired license. His wife says he sometimes transported groups of workers between job sites.
This man is according to certified statements that we get, is a very violent person.
Meanwhile, civil rights attorneys say the Trump administration is loading alleged gang members onto buses at this ICE facility in Texas, preparing to deport them under the Alien Enemies Act, which dates back to 1798.
We're discussing it. It's a tool in the toolbox. It's a useful tool.
Their deportation would be the first since the Supreme Court ruled earlier this month that the administration must provide notice to migrants it's trying to remove under the obscure wartime law and give them the chance to challenge their deportations in court.
I don't know about the group you're talking about, but if they're bad people, I would certainly authorize it.
And Gabe Gutierrez joins us now from the White House. Gabe, Senator Van Hollen said that Abrego Garcia did not know his case is getting so much attention. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Allison. It's quite remarkable. He said that he really had no contact with the outside world over the last several weeks, and he told Senator Van Hollen that he had been moved from that notorious prison about 8 or 9 days ago to another facility. Now, Van Hollen says that the meeting did not come easy, that he was trying to get to that notorious prison for some time, and before he caught a flight on his last day, he drove out there, was stopped by the military, turned around, but then he got notice that he would be allowed to meet with Abrego Garcia at his hotel. Abrego Garcia was brought to him, but yes, he apparently has had no contact with the outside world, no idea how much attention his story has gotten. Allison.
Senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. We have major developments on those peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, now seemingly on the verge of collapse. Secretary of State Marco Rubio now warning if there's no progress soon, the United States may, quote, move on. Secretary Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met with top Ukrainian officials in Paris this week in an effort to bring an end to the war. But the U.S. delegation is growing increasingly frustrated. NBC Yamiche Alcindor is tracking this from Washington. Yamiche, clearly these talks are not going as well as the administration hoped. President Trump talked about it today and agreed with Secretary Rubio. This is some of what he had to say.
If for some reason one of the two parties makes it very difficult, we're just going to say you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to just take a pass. But hopefully we won't have to do that.
Given that, Yamiche, where do peace talks stand at this hour?
Well, President Trump is saying that things are moving along, but that it is complicated, and he is in some ways a bit frustrated about the pace of things. The president also said in the Oval Office that he wants to see enthusiasm on both sides. He does say right now that he sees that enthusiasm, but as you said and played, the president said that the United States will take a, quote, pass if he does not see real progress in the next few days. The president also said that he's not ready exactly to walk away right now. We also should point out that Russian officials have said that this is complicated and that they are hearing the United States and their concerns, but that at the end of the day, this is going to be a complex negotiation and that they need to have more time in order to work this out. I should also remind folks that President Trump said that he would end this war between Russia and Ukraine on day one of his presidency. Obviously, he's not been able to do that. Now he's blaming President Biden for this war happening and saying that that's part of the reason why the situation is the way it is right now, Ellison.
So, Yamiche, if the United States walks away from these talks, where does that leave things?
Well, it's really, really tough for Russia, who is, of course, the bigger, more well-financed part of this war. They could have the upper hand and could possibly really have a better standing in this war and be able to do even more damage to Ukraine. On the Ukrainian side, you've, of course, seen the President Volodymyr Zelensky asking for U.S. support, asking for not only financial support and weapon support, but also just diplomatic support. So that's happening there. But it's a tough situation for Ukraine if the U.S. walks away. Ellison?
Yamiche Alcindor, thank you. An update tonight on the trial of Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in the fall of 2022. He has pleaded not guilty. The judge making some major rulings today on what evidence and language can be used in court, with the trial set to begin this summer. For more on this case and what the judge decided, I want to bring in Jeremy Saland, a criminal defense attorney and former Manhattan prosecutor. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining Top Story this evening. A whole lot of takeaways from court today, right? A big one regarding the phrase bushy eyebrows. Talk to us about that. Why is that important? And ultimately, what was decided?
Yeah, there's a witness who's DM who says one of the things that was seen were these bushy eyebrows. I couldn't make out the face. There was covering on the face. There were some other attributes that were given, but this bushy eyebrows, that went back to that constantly as one of the factors to identify the defendant. And what basically the defense is saying is that's prejudicial. It shouldn't come in. The foundation really isn't there. She's not someone who's reliable. She was impaired or possibly intoxicated. And then there was also some reference, some pictures there in the house that had bushy eyebrows. And what the judge said is that may be grounds for cross-examination. That may be grounds for what we call impeachment, to challenge what she said and saw, but that doesn't preclude it from coming in. It's the strength of it is different, but it should come in. It's still probative and it's still relevant.
So the judge also ruled that Kohberger's Amazon purchase history is relevant as well. And that includes, we're told, a purchase of a knife and sheath. Our viewers will probably remember investigators have said they found a sheath at the crime scene with Kohberger's DNA on it. How do you expect prosecutors and the defense to use that purchase history at trial?
It's incredibly powerful for the prosecution, and the defense filed this motion in limine to say it shouldn't come in part because the data is incomplete and it's not fully there, so it's going to give a wrong and prejudicial picture of what occurred. So what the value is obviously if that knife is used and that knife is found and there's evidence that there was checking by the defendant for the tracking of that knife 8 months before purchasing that knife and that sheath. After the murders, there's allegations that the data will also show about deleting the history or checking on that history of the knife and the sheath. So it directly shows even that it was shipped to his home. So if true and that evidence comes out, which it will and can be cross-examined, it directly places the defendant in that sort of weapon, the use that ultimately is alleged to have killed these people, those multiple stabs. You have that direct correlation. It's huge evidence.
Okay. And then the other thing on the list of all the back and forth with the judge today that I wanted to ask you about is Kohberger's autism diagnosis and this question of whether or not it could be mentioned during the trial. The defense said they wanted permission to mention it if Kohberger was convicted during the penalty phase to explain potentially his courtroom demeanor. The judge saying today the only way they can mention it is if Kohberger takes a stand. I hear from defense attorneys a lot. They say the last thing we want to do is put our client on the stand. If you were leading this defense team, would you essentially make that trade, put your client on the stand in hopes that if you need it, you could maybe have the jury be more sympathetic to him because you're able to talk about this autism diagnosis?
I mean, that's a tough hill to climb. Every case is unique and everyone's individual. But yeah, I think the right choice here is you're not going to put him on the stand, because if you think that he's not capable of showing the same emotions or the right emotions, and one of the things that the defense brought up is how he's reacting in the courtroom, though the judge said, I didn't see any of that. You don't want to alienate the jury. And then remember, it's not just the autism and how he may react. It's now you can cross-examine that person on those clicks, on that Amazon clicks. You can cross-examine him on the sheath. So there's the DNA. So there's so much that goes back to be able to impeach this guy and say, you are the person who did this, and you're exposing him to the prosecution. It's a dangerous, dangerous game. And unless they're really desperate, they're likely not going to go that route.
Do you think we'll see more hearings or motions related to this? Based on what you've seen today, should we assume this trial is going to happen in the summer as planned?
Yeah, I expect it will. There was one date I know that the judge referenced in May about if you're going to have an alternative a person who did this crime and that's your defense, you need to provide that by May 14th, I believe was the date. So there's still things yet to do and there's still some decisions to work through, but I expect a trial come July.
All right. Jeremy Saland, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and insights.
My pleasure.
We're back in a moment with the convicted killer caught. The murderer seen here in this video fleeing a California prison, now captured. We'll tell you how they caught him. Family clash. The father of that Texas football player allegedly stabbed by another student, crashing a press conference held by the accused killer's parents. What those parents are now saying. And no delay for Diddy. The judge ruling on Sean Combs' trial, why he's not letting the process slow down. We're back now with another update on that high school track meet stabbing that happened in Texas. The father of the teenager killed in the confrontation showing up at a press conference held by the family of the alleged killer. NBC's Kathy Park has the latest.
Tensions deepening between two Texas families, torn apart by a deadly high school track meet stabbing, now playing out in public view. Jeff Metcalf, the father of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, who was killed earlier this month, crashing a news conference on Thursday, held with the family of his alleged killer, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony. Metcalf, wearing dark sunglasses, escorted away by police. He has not commented since his appearance, but spoke to NBC's Dallas-Fort Worth station KXAS earlier this month.
You know what? I already forgive this person. Already. God takes care of things.
After Metcalf was led out on Thursday, Anthony's parents addressed the cameras.
To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you.
Kayla Hayes, Anthony's mother, offering her sympathies, but also detailing the public backlash against her own family in her first comments since the stabbing.
We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
Her son was charged with murder after police say he stabbed Metcalf following a verbal altercation at a track meet on April 2nd. They say Anthony admitted to the killing, saying he acted in self-defense. Dominique Alexander, president of the Next Generation Action Network and a spokesman for the Anthony family, spoke to Top Story earlier this week about those claims.
I think that Black America as a general right, is saying, how is it absurd that a Black child is claiming self-defense, but we always see repetitively white children being able to say self-defense and there's no problem.
On Monday, a judge lowering Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000, releasing him on strict conditions of house arrest, ankle monitoring, and weekly check-ins with the bailiff. A grand jury still has to decide whether to move forward with an indictment.
I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to.
And Kathy Park joins us now. Kathy, not long after the Anthony family press conference, police were called out to the Metcalf family home. Do we know what happened there?
Yeah, Ellison, so Frisco police say they responded to what was initially reported as a gunshot call to an address linked to Austin Metcalf's family, but officials are now saying it was a case of swatting. You might have heard of it. It's a fake threat intended to get a large law enforcement response. So right now, it is still unclear who made this call, but swatting really is a serious crime, and anyone who is behind it could be facing criminal charges. Ellison?
Kathy Park, thank you. When we return, new body cam footage of police opening fire on a man with autism wielding a knife after outrage in the community over the shooting. What these new tapes reveal. Plus, Journey to the Homeland, our correspondent's very personal assignment, retracing the footsteps of his great-great-grandparents from 100 years ago. Now to an update in a story we've been following. New body cam footage released shows the moment an autistic teen who was shot and killed by police in Idaho. The video offering another look at the shooting that's left the community in absolute shock. The family now planning to file a wrongful death suit against the city. NBC's Ryan Chandler has the details.
Body camera and surveillance footage released by police in Pocatello, Idaho. Hey, drop the knife! Showing just how quickly the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Victor Perez, who was autistic and had cerebral palsy, according to his family, unfolded. In the videos from April 5th, a total of 4 officers arrive on scene at roughly the same time and race toward Perez, who is behind a chain-link fence in his yard, holding a knife. Police providing 2 angles from 2 of the officers' body-worn cameras. Officers yell multiple times to drop the knife. Amid the shouting, the teen stands up and moves toward the officers. Within 16 seconds of officers arriving on scene, Perez is shot 9 times. He died a week later at the hospital.
They basically form a firing squad and they start shooting. And then the next thing you know, he's dead.
Police say the officers were not aware that Perez had a medical condition or was experiencing a mental health crisis. The man who called 911 said Perez appeared to be under the influence.
There is a couple up back behind their shop brandishing a knife. Looks like they're trying to stab someone. He's laying on the ground he looks like he's on drugs or something.
Dispatch did alert police that the 911 caller said Perez and his family did not appear to speak English.
Female and male are trying to calm the male with the knife down. RP believes they do not speak English.
The 4 responding officers have been placed on leave as the East Idaho Critical Incident Task Force investigates the shooting.
Members of the Perez family, I'm truly sorry for your loss.
The Perez family lawyer says they intend to sue the city of Pocatello for wrongful death, saying police displayed negligent conduct and excessive use of force.
A lot of the police departments have policy and procedures, general orders, which set forth the way that you do tactical de-escalation. What the family is saying is that none of these tactical things were followed.
The Pocatello community coming together at this candlelight vigil to support Victor's family and say enough is enough.
I feel let down, and it's not just me, his family. We can't just let this happen. This isn't something we can just let go.
And Ryan Chandler joins us now. Ryan, we understand this lawsuit is also going to argue that the officers did not solely threaten Victor's life, but those around him as well.
That's right, Ellison. We spoke with James Cook, an attorney for the family. He argues that Perez's sister and mother were in the line of fire when police shot, along with one of their neighbor's young children. You can see in that body cam footage that Perez's family was just feet away from him when officers shot. Cook argues that that behavior was reckless, and he's warned the city to start preserving evidence ahead of that looming lawsuit.
And Ryan, what are police saying?
Police urge people, I think first they understand why the community is upset, but they try to frame this in terms of what police believed they were getting themselves into when they responded to that call. Remember that 911 call warned about a potentially intoxicated man wielding a knife? So they thought there was an imminent threat to not just themselves, but to Perez's own family, and they say they acted quickly to an immediate risk to protect everybody around them.
Ryan Chandler, thank you. A convicted murderer who escaped from a California prison has now been captured, but not before he allegedly killed again. This is the moment Cesar Hernandez broke out of a prison near Bakersfield, California, about 4 months ago. The officer chasing him, not firing his weapon. Hernandez was then able to flee the United States. Last week, Hernandez was in a shootout with police in Mexico where he allegedly killed a Mexican police officer. But today, he is in custody, captured by police there. NBC's Dana Griffin is tracking this for us. Dana, we just showed that photo of police in Mexico that they released from Mexico showing Hernandez now in their custody. Do we have any more details on how that arrest went down?
Yeah, so Ellison, he was arrested Thursday in East Tijuana with a loaded weapon. Officials say that they believe was the same gun used to kill Police Commander Abigail Reyes. They say someone tipped them off, but they would not go into further detail. Now, last week he escaped, surprisingly, using a uniform that he got from a vehicle. You can see video of him getting inside that vehicle. He comes out, he calmly walks away. That was a tool that he used to help evade police. They say he escaped alone, and it appears that he worked alone. Ellison?
So, Dana, Hernandez was already serving an 80-year-to-life sentence in prison for a prior murder in Los Angeles back in 2019. With this new alleged murder in Mexico, will he be extradited to the United States or tried there first?
It sounds like he won't be extradited anytime soon. That's because Mexican authorities say they cannot allow this person to make a joke out of their system and out of their authorities. So they say he will have to pay for his crimes in Mexico first. Now, they did add they are still awaiting an official request from the U.S. for extradition. But it sounds like if convicted, he faces up to 60 years in a Mexican prison. And by the way, they are still investigating what went wrong with that botched shooting last week. Ellison?
Dana Griffin in Los Angeles. Thank you. In tonight's top story news feed, a federal judge denying Sean Diddy Combs' request to delay his sex trafficking trial. Combs appeared in court for today's hearing. His lawyers had asked for a 2-month delay, saying they needed more time to gather information. But the judge ruled he has at least 4 attorneys who have had sufficient time to prepare. This means the trial is set to begin in early May with jury selection. Combs has pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal counts, including sex trafficking and racketeering, and is currently detained at a Brooklyn federal jail. And surveillance footage capturing the moment an Uber driver and his passenger were shot in Philadelphia Wednesday morning. The video shows the 22-year-old passenger opening the door when 2 men run up and open fire. Police say the passenger was hit in the arm, leg, and stomach and is now in critical condition. They say the 77-year-old driver was shot in the head, but managed to drive the car around the corner. Ultimately, they say he crashed into a pole. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say there was some sort of altercation between the suspect and the passenger before the shooting. So far, no arrests have been made. 2 men in the Midwest arrested accused of vandalizing Teslas. 19-year-old Owen McIntyre of Kansas City, Missouri, appeared in court today to face federal charges related to arson. Police say on March 17th, he used a Molotov cocktail to set fire to a Cybertruck in a Tesla service center. That fire spread to a second Cybertruck. It's not clear if McIntyre has entered a plea. And in Minneapolis, a man allegedly tied to 6 different incidents involving Teslas, causing more than $21,000 worth of damage, could also face felony charges. He was tracked down using video recorded by the cars. Attorney General Pam Bondi says anyone found vandalizing Teslas will be prosecuted and will spend decades behind bars. And talk about a race to the altar. Body cam video capturing a bride and a wedding guest pulled over on the way to her ceremony in South Florida.
Whose wedding is it?
It's mine.
What time is it?
It's 2:30.
Where at?
In Florida, the courthouse.
So you're already late.
Police say they were going 105 miles per hour. Good news, they were sent on their way. Bad news, the driver was given a mandatory court appearance. Now to the incredible story of a missing 2-year-old who was saved by a dog. Dozens of first responders spent 16 hours Monday night looking for the toddler, but it wasn't until the next morning that he was found by a 4-legged friend. Tonight we are hearing from that 2-year-old and his parents for the first time. Here's Adrienne Broaddus.
That's literally the worst he got, and it's not even deep. Just a scuff, basically.
2-year-old Bowden back home safe with only a scratch.
It's unreal and it's unbelievable, and it's a miracle.
His parents speaking out for the first time since the toddler wandered away from their Arizona home on Monday while Dad was doing work on the roof and Mom was taking care of his 1-year-old sibling.
I didn't even know how to process. I looked at his empty bed in the middle of the night, and I'm like, this isn't real. He's not. How is he not here? How is he out by himself somewhere in the dark, like alone? How is that even real?
It's like the worst living nightmare parents could ever feel.
Authorities mounting a massive search involving more than 40 rescuers who worked through the night in the Arizona desert just south of the Grand Canyon.
Working 141, be advised, DPS Rangers, everyone in the next 10 minutes.
Units in a state police helicopter spotting 2 mountain lions in the area, but no sign of the 2-year-old Bowden. That's when this farmer's dog,
Buford, come on,
stepped up.
It's in their blood, you know, they're guardians and stuff.
Buford, the Anatolian Pyrenees, usually protects his family's ranch from coyotes and wildlife. But that night, he found the 2-year-old sleeping under a tree miles away from home and escorted him back to safety.
I look up and the little kid standing there with my dog. Well, knowing that he was the missing child, it was a relief that he was alive.
Rancher Scotty Dunton retraced the toddler's footsteps from his ranch for at least a mile. Buford, he said, was with him the whole time.
I feel like God sent that dog to rescue my son.
He's here. He's healthy. He's fine. Like nothing ever happened. It just still feels like a dream.
But you're feeling okay now?
Rob.
Yeah? And you got some chocolate?
Adrienne Bronis, NBC News.
When we return, in the footsteps of Jesus, on this Good Friday, our correspondent's journey through the Holy Land and the revelations he learned about his own family. We're back now with Top Stories Global Watch. U.S. officials say Houthi rebels downed another American drone this week. It comes as a Houthi-run TV channel is reporting the deaths of at least 58 people following a U.S. strike on a fuel port in Yemen. U.S. Central Command saying they struck the fuel port yesterday in an attempt to eliminate fuel sources for the Houthis. Al Masirah TV called it one of the deadliest attacks since the U.S. began striking Yemen back in January. Nuclear talks ramping up as Iran's foreign minister prepares to meet with a U.S. special envoy in Rome tomorrow. That meeting coming as Iran marks its annual Army Day, parading its military arsenal through the streets of Tehran. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met with Iran's foreign minister last week for the first round of talks since President Trump's new term. Trump saying today that he does not support Iran's nuclear program. And a Jamaican Olympic sprinter showing off her speed at her son's sports day. Social media video showing 3-time Olympic gold medalist Shelly Ann Fraser-Price flying ahead of other moms in a parents' race at her son's school. Fraser-Price is the 3rd fastest woman in the world, boasting a time of just 10.6 seconds in the 100-meter race. As we begin this Easter weekend, we have a story tonight about a journey to the Holy Land, one that has been made by millions to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Our correspondent, Raf Sanchez, was based in the region for years, but only recently did he make a discovery. His great-great-grandparents had also spent time there some 100 years ago on their personal pilgrimage. Raf decided to retrace their tracks on a journey that revealed how much has stayed the same despite the ever-changing political situation.
For as long as there have been Americans, there have been American travelers in Jerusalem. Pilgrims following the story of the gospel and adventurers on the path of history. Among them, my great-great-grandparents, Louis and Caddy Burley. They left their home in Augusta, Maine, and set sail for the Middle East in 1925. Recording their journey in this photo album, 100 years old but only recently rediscovered by our family.
The title page says, "The doings of the intrepid adventurers who boldly snapshotted and postcarded their way through foreign lands."
For me, the discovery was stunning.
We've heard gunfire. It seems like somebody has come in.
I spent 3 years as a Middle East correspondent for NBC News, not knowing I was walking in the footsteps of family. Exactly a century later, I retraced their journey, following notes written by my great-great-grandfather.
They entered Jerusalem right here through the famous Jaffa Gate of the Old City. And according to him, they spent the next 3 days being led around by tour guides with a scanty assortment of broken English, a fair bit of really valuable information, and a marvelous collection of preposterous lies.
The alleys of the Old City then and now bustling with merchants. The ancient streets inspiring Louis to write,
"Nowhere else in the world has so much of history flowed through so small an area as in that little country of Palestine, as it was known then, on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean, about the size of Vermont." Honestly, that's something I could have written today.
They followed the Stations of the Cross to the calm of the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus is said to have prayed before his crucifixion. As I walked through the sacred spot, the exact same tree photographed by my great-great-grandfather, remarkably unchanged. And 100 years on, the Western Wall still a site of fervent prayer.
This has always been a place of deep emotion, which is why it's sometimes known as the Wailing Wall. My great-great-grandfather wrote he saw some Jewish worshippers actually weeping here.
But the ugly modern politics of the Holy Land would be unrecognizable to them. Their trip was before the founding of Israel, when Jews and Arabs still lived in relative peace. And tourists could freely visit the Al-Aqsa Mosque, known to Israelis as the Temple Mount.
It's the third holiest site in Islam, and it is the holiest site for Jews, and it is at the absolute center of the conflict here. The politics of this have gotten so complicated over the last 100 years that today, as a non-Muslim, this is as far as I can go.
In the late 1800s, a family of Christians from Chicago founded the American colony. Today, it's one of the most famous hotels in the world. But when Lewis and Caddy visited in 1925, it was still a religious commune and a social hub for soldiers, spies, and statesmen. Jeremy Berkovitz is the owner's representative and the hotel's unofficial historian.
This was the place where you came. So for your great-grandfather to make a detour to come here in those years, say from 1915 to 1930, you would not have missed the opportunity to come because it was a really interesting place.
Was the atmosphere here the roaring 20s and drink and dance, or was it quite?
No, absolutely, that's right. There was parties, but within the Christian ethic. Right. I mean, I'm not sure how much alcohol they had. It was more garden parties and fine dresses.
Lewis described colony residents as practical Christians who ate and worshiped together.
I think practical Christians is a very good way of putting it. The underlying reason they did it was because they thought Jesus was going to come in around 1896.
So they believed the Messiah was coming in 25 years' time or so.
A century on, Jerusalem's wait for the Messiah continues, and so does its powerful draw for travelers from the U.S. and around the world.
A lot has changed here in the last 100 years. A lot hasn't, but it is amazing to think that my great-great-grandparents found this place as special as I do.
Raf Sanchez, NBC News, Jerusalem.
Thanks so much for watching Top Story. I'm Ellison Barber in New York for Tom Llamas. Stay right there. More news is on the way.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.